went to do my morning gathering, my morning gathering, and on Facebook, just waiting for some people to get in, bringing up on my phone as I always do because there's always some weird delay happening. So let's just see. Okay, I see there's a few people here. I'm on Facebook. So I'm on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. So you'll see me in two places. If you're on YouTube and you're wondering where all the people are coming from, they're all on the Facebook page. If you're on Facebook and you're wondering why I'm speaking to people that you don't see, they're on YouTube. So this is being broadcasted on both through Be Live TV. So good morning. Good morning, Annette and Marlene. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for coming this morning. We're just waiting for some people to get in here. And I'm just wondering what noise is. Sounds like the cat is having a field day downstairs. So, good morning, Karen. Good morning. So this morning we're doing a check-in, a morning check-in. We are still in the new moon energy yesterday and today, the 11th and the 12th. 11th was the master number of 11 and being able to start mastering our lives. And so today, the 12th is the is the new moon. And we'll say no full moon yet. It's the new moon energy that's also coming in big and powerful today. And I always say it's not the day of, it's the day after. It's the day of that you kind of sit in it. So they keep talking about all new. This is all new energy, a big shift and all these big shifts. And so this for me kind of is like when you get the big build up to events, the big build up, say, to New Year's Eve, to Christmas, to all of these things. So you get all built up with these ideas, these thoughts that you keep hearing. Oh my God, everything is going to change. It's going to be a new day, a new life. Everything's going to become new, and there's going to be all this new stuff. Well, I downloaded my meditation, and I haven't even posted it yet. I'm like, because I'm a channel, I'm a mystic. I work in that future energy and being able to read through that energy. And I'm not an astrologer. I know lots about astrology, but I'm not an astrologer. I'm a channel. And so I channel through the energies of those who have walked upon this earth prior to us, that have been here before, or who have never been here, that have this energy, that has this truth that is not linked to our human wants. And so this energy of this new moon that I want to share with you guys first thing this morning. Good morning, Teresa and Franz. Good morning. You caught it live, Franz. Right, rushed in your body. Yeah. And so I'm going to go there with that rushed in your body. And so this energy and what they keep talking about is this like brand new. Everything is going to be brand new. We're going to be brand new. Everything is going to be so new to us and da da da. And people build high expectations on waiting for the energy in the world to all of a sudden magically poof. And it doesn't work that way. That's not how this works. So you get that whole sense of, and this is where I guess my high sense of integrity and my sense of being honest and true as much as I can is that we have to be, as a spiritual healer, as a psychic medium, as someone who is an influencer in the world, is that sense of being able to be a positive influence in all ways that I can, but also being a realist and being very sympathetic and holding true to recognizing that when you walk the middle road, that you really truly feel how everybody is feeling, how the whole world is feeling, how everyone around us is feeling. It's not about the selective few that are having a good day. It is about the world in the whole world itself. And so the new energy, the new shift that is being spoken about and talked about is that we get this rush, this surge of energy. So we're being powered up by this light. So there's this empowering light that is empowering us right now, or embodying us, sorry. There's this light that is embodying us. It's like our light body. So our body becomes like charged. We have a little more sunshine happening, the way the planets are aligned. It's just giving us more of a positive and upbeat kind of energy feeling. The problem with all of that is that you still have your human. And your human existence in the material world that you're living in and your current situations will still always have an overriding effect upon anything that you are feeling within you when you have a lot of stress, when your body is producing a lot of stress hormones, when there's things that are out of your control, such as your grief, your PTSDs, those things that are impacting and affecting people's lives. So, for me to come on and say, you know what, your life is going to change today. Hurrah, there's going to be magic come in. It's not going to be that way. And I really truly don't want to promote that or push that for people. I want to be honest and say that our bodies are being able to be charged up with something that gives you the ability within you to start to bring forth a change. It lights up the parts of us that truly are ready to set a new intention to say, you know what is in my control and what is not in my control? Am I wasting too much of my day and too much of my time focusing on everything that I cannot change? Where can I bring my focus? So the body being rushed and feeling charged is like, this energy can also make us become impulsive. And so if we're in that unhealthy state, or we're in the chatter and the clutter in our mind, we may feel like, okay, well, I have to run away from every single relationship in my life today because they're all Debbie Downers and they're all negative people. And I have to get out of this and I have to get moving because the new moon energy tells me that I have to set an intention to make it all about me. Well, that all about me, that all about me, and that all about stuff, like all of that energy also has to remember all the people that contribute to your life and that are a positive influence in your life truly do help you in some ways. And you may not like them today because you may be in a different place. You may be making impulsive choices and decisions. And what we're telling you is chill out. Wait this through, pause. So it's a really good time to know that it is opportunities are coming, but it's an opportunity for you to explore, where am I losing my energy? Where am I losing, where am I exhausting myself that is not helping me? How can I start to help myself? How can I be the change in my own life? How can I be, how can I be my own influencer? And so the 8 hours that you just wasted today on TikTok, or watching 1,000 Facebook videos waiting for your world to change, or waiting for your happiness and joy to be created in that world, just had you wasting a whole day that truly was about you being able to move forward. Take some time. Find the people that matter to you. Watch those videos that are healthy inspiration for you. Have that time, slot it in. But make sure you take the time to go to the places that can help build up more of what the universe is trying to give to us right now. It's trying to give to us more of the light. It is trying to help us come back to home, to be focused right here, to set an intention, to not be so wrapped up in what you cannot change today, and where you can put your focus, what you can give to you, what you can provide. Patience, yes, exactly. Patience with these changes is that new world, that new earth is there. There is a big motive out there. And so manipulation is real, and manipulation does really happen. And if you look all the way back to every single new product that ever came out, was that they always would down the other company or their competition to get that new product in. Well, the same thing with the motive to get the new earth the way that a certain organizations want to see the new earth is truly about you then having, they get to the children, they get to people first that they know that they can impact by fear. And so if fear is guiding your life, you know that this light that's embodied within us today is saying, you know what, you have your own mind. Think for yourself. You have your own free will. You have some great things that are built in you, like a compass, like a mapping system, like a critic, like a wise one, like a planner, like all of that is built within us. And we have to be able to trust that for ourselves, to be able to know. I always say I'm a spiritual healer. I have all the marks, all the lines in the palms of my hand that, are a spiritual healer. I have 4 crosses of the mystic. Like I have all of these things that I'm born with, the way that I am born. But you're human, And who you are in a human is dependent upon the learned behavior, the conditioning, the deprogramming, what you unlearn, how you truly represent yourself, your integrity, your dignity, those type of things that you truly start to discover, because you can use the power in your hands to also be a healthy and unhealthy influence when you're trying to get everything to go your way in this world. And not very much in this world has gone my way in a lot of ways, or did a lot of things in my life come easy, because I stay true to integrity. It may be a hard road, but I tend to want to stay in that real, honest self of me, because it's important, and it should be important to you. So as we move forward with this new moon energy, and I am an Aries, and I'm born April Fool's Day. I'm like the Fool's card type of thing of the tarot. I'm always in that sense of, how can I feel more whole? How can you be of service? How can you help? How can you contribute? And I've discovered there's so many ways that you cannot help people who are unwilling to help themselves. Right. And so that's the truth. And so if everybody is so laser focused on one view, one option, one choice, one way to be, we're never going to be able to be something that's more inclusive, more bigger, more wider. We're not going to be able to expand. We're actually shrinking. So don't shrink in. Don't shrink into the old stories. This is time to put the light up on you, to accept the light that's coming in, to allow you to open your heart to expand. So there is expansion. It just takes time. So it's taking some time for this expansion to really, really hit home, to fall into place. And our faith, and holding on to what faith really means, what hope really means, what it really truly means beyond the dictionary's versions. And everything should be about coming back full circle to wholeness. We break cycles. We build circles. We build communities. We build things that help us be able to work together more in a collective kind of energy, but with an individuality, with an individual mind, being able to think for yourself, but knowing that old cycles and changes will have to happen, right? So that's within our own thought process, as big as it is in the world. So France, I don't know if that's the storm. That's one of the storms that I found. And so there was several storms that I've been finding. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of channeled messages. I have a lot of drawings. I have a lot of sketches. Um, yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy the stuff that I have. But I don't feel a need to put a lot of that out there. I don't believe the world needs more fear. Believe we need more faith, and we need more hope. And we need to truly believe that, you know what? If we want to see the world a certain way, we have to start to become that certain way. We have to be that way within us. And that means we have to find it within us, right? Spring finally come. We had a massive snowstorm here, guys. Like, I'm in Leduc, Alberta, and a big ass snowstorm hit us. It was crazy. It was the windows all like were snowed in, and it would last, and then now the snow's melting again, of course. But yeah, it was so crazy here. But it's going to be nice now. The next few days is going to get nice. Good morning, Edie. Welcome. And Sydney, good morning. Lori, who else did I not say? Glenda, good morning. Rose, good morning. Catherine, good morning. Sandy, good morning. Teresa, everyone who's joined in. Heather, good morning. If I have not said hello to you, and if you're watching and not commenting, hello to all of you as well. I also feel your energy. I know that you're present here. So I'm going to do a 3-card spread for the week for everybody to give you some inspiration. Now I'm back every morning. I'm hoping that 10 a.m. to 10:30 will be my morning times when I'll get in this week. That's what I'm hoping. I do have some appointments this week, so I'm working around schedules. So, and I also have a few more of my zodiac messages to get out. They're not all out. I'm trying my best. They're so hard to do. So, see, we're talking about truth this morning. Talk about integrity, truth, being honest, discovering what integrity really means. And once you travel to the journey of discovery, and really truly looking with an open mind at things like biblical, Bible, things that you don't believe in, atheists, like all those things that you travel into, that you look into with an open mind, and you discover why people follow the way they follow, or why people live the way they live. You get to see the past history of of how we are. And it starts to bring forth a truth within us that, a hurt person can truly turn an eye and become, the pain story can become so crippling that it just leads you thinking that anyone who even looks like, smells like, tastes like, feels like, anything that represents that old energy for you or the old way, you're going to run away from. And you're going to just, it only takes one word to trigger us, one thought to trigger us. And we're going to be on that run, running away from things. Like, I remember I had a client one time who, if she smelled grease, she would actually panic, like go into an actual, like, hysterical mess, because the person who harmed and hurt her was somebody who always smelled like that greasy smell. And so that then triggered her. So every time she would smell that, every time she'd walk into a store or a business that would smell like that, she'd be triggered, and she would react and respond in a way that was like so far from her truth. She would start to get angry and mad at people. She would start telling off the clerks, and she couldn't understand why that was happening to her. She would become so defensive and so protective of her energy, of herself. And she's like, nobody was doing nothing. Nothing was any different. It would just happen. Your body has muscle memory, and the soul self brings forth many lifetimes, but that knows its truth. It's us humans that don't know our truth. We truly don't understand our truth until we recognize when we are being triggered by, when we are responding, reacting from a response that we're unsure of, that we don't take the time to pause, to breathe, to look at our environment, look around and say, this is nothing like the past. What is happening right here, right now, that is bringing me into that energy? So the awareness of truth is that coming home to Karina, to all of who I was a life-changing event for me. And that when you want to go through a life, when you truly want to awaken to your truth, to become aware, is you got to take the journey through the dark night of the soul. You got to look at the parts of you that are not so pretty. You got to face the good, the ugly, and you got to take the ugly. You got to look at the good, the ugly, and what is it? The good, the ugly, and the bad, or whatever. I can't. How come when I channel, I can't get shit out? Can't get these everyday things out. And so you have to look at the uglies of yourself. You have to look at the not so pretty self of you. You have to look at the places where, when you act up, when you have a tantrum, and you have to really explore when and why it is happening, how it is happening, what is triggering that. And when you do, you start to become aware. So for me, it was actually my name. It was actually when I would have to use Corina, anything that was linked into being a legal document, a banking statement, anything that would have Corina. To me, I associated Corina with being this, like, I don't know what I thought she was, but I didn't want to, I rejected every bit of who she was. But she was a truth, because that was my original name. That's the name that was originally given to me, blessed to me. And I didn't want anyone to ever even associate me to the name Corina. That's not who I am. Don't call me that. And I would become very defensive of that name. Awareness of the truth was that the truest parts of me that I truly believed were never good enough, because being picked on, being made fun of, being called weird, odd, there was parts of me that even I was rejecting, because every time I would see that good little kid, that sweet little kid, that part of her come out, I'm like, no freaking way. She's not going to be able to defend my life. She's not going to be strong enough. And I found myself losing my sense of worth. So everything that had a legal document all tied to my worth, because it would be things like bills, banking, financial things, those things. And these cards are my deck of cards. They are the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. So they're based on my life and my journey through how your attitude shows up, how you behave, how you react, how you respond. So there's inspiration. And in reverse, they tell us when you're upside down, when you're in reverse of yourself, when you're not true to yourself, when you're in that energy, right? And so when you get away from yourself and the way that you act and the way that you show up, people remember that. So if you're the crazy woman who walks into the store, and every time you walk in, you start telling off all the clerks, you start becoming impatient, and then you leave and you're nothing like that outside of there, it's like, those people remember you the way that you were. So every time you walk in, well, they start to become it. And then you say, I don't know why they're so mean in there. They're so rude in there. And they just make me mean and rude. Well, go home and take a look in the mirror, right? We got to have a reflection. So for me, whenever I'd have to speak to the government, whenever I'd have to speak to, and it wouldn't even be that I even owed anything, I found myself becoming like I was a freaking 3-year-old. And I didn't know how to communicate. I would shut down when it came to dealing with my banking. I would shut down when it came to dealing with anything. And I'm still working through some of those things. You don't realize how many parts of our past really truly are impacting our future until you're willing to take a good look. So this new moon energy is about setting an intention to really explore and look at self. Of if you want to be the newest and best version of you, you have to set an intention to be the best human that you can be every day. And that is the intention I wake up and I set every single morning. What do I need to do and change within me? What do I need to start to work towards to be the best human that I can be? Right? Sometimes I can be a Karen. Right, Mary? Yes, thank you for that honesty. Sometimes you can be that energy. Sometimes you find yourself doing that. Do you know why you're being that, right? Like, what is it that's happening? What's happening within me at that time? And when you can stop and pause of and it's not looking at the whole world of what the whole world is doing, is what is happening within me that has me responding and reacting. Why do I feel a need to have an opinion about everything? Why do I feel a need to throw my hurts onto everybody? Why do I want everybody to pay the price for my past? And if we all start doing that on an individual level, instead of expecting the whole world to answer that for you or answer the call of that for you, or to make it comfortable so that you can stay in that energy, we'll be a much better world. We'll be a whole much better world. Lori, you've been trying to learn self love and self healing, just trying to figure out my purpose here. Now, Lori, let me tell you about trying to find out your purpose. That's a whole nother bag of freaking worms. All you're doing is torturing yourself. Stop trying to figure out your purpose. That I'm going to tell you. Stop trying to figure out your purpose. And not saying you don't have a purpose or that you shouldn't want to see that purpose come to life. What I'm saying is start living on purpose. Start living on purpose. The moment you start living on purpose is the moment that your life starts to change. Because by keep searching is why am I here? What do I need to do in this world? It's about living on purpose. Living on purpose is truly the essence of being present in who you are today, seeing the value and the worth that you provide in this world, what qualities you have, what greatness you have, by picking out the nuggets of what you learned and experienced from the past and starting to see those parts of you and bring it into your everyday fold. Like just putting love into the little things that you're doing for you, putting love into going out for a walk, putting love into cooking, putting love into everything that you do. Go back and remember, what did I used to dream of as a child? And not, oh God, all my dreams didn't come true. All the things that you dreamt as a child, then you start to see in the adult form pieces and parts that you did bring forward, that you have brought into this life and that you're seeing within this life. And you're like, wow, I have done some. They may not look like the picture, but I've accomplished many things. Because when you're not seeing the things that you have done great, so even so much as your footsteps hitting the ground, is living on purpose. So much as, you stopping to smell the roses, stopping to look at the trees as they blossom, those little buds coming out on the tree, I have to stop and look at those and go, thank God I'm here again this year to see that again, right? Like I'm here to see another spring and to say thank you. Like we're going to have something else to look at shortly because nature is always going through its cycles with such love. It knows that it has to go through, it knows that it has to happen. So it truly is about finding that place of being able to create that joy and happiness within. And then you're going to see the world with more joy and happiness. And you're going to see you as more worthy in that joy and happiness. And then you're going to see yourself finding that you're happier than ever before, even if it's the simplest of things. You can be the richest person on the earth and you will not still be able to be living in that purpose, because you're always seeking and searching something. If you have not found that essence within you, if you're not living within that, if you're still waiting for the whole world to provide that happiness and joy, or that contentment, or that picture of what you think life should look like, right? And so to be able to live in that sense of that self, right? To live in that sense of that self, it truly brings you into, breathe that in, to see you as the purpose. The fact that you were born here, that you're a human, well, you're a part of the purpose. You're a part of the why. And so you're already here living your purpose. Your purpose is to live as a human. That's your purpose. And to live on purpose is to live as the best human that you can while you're here. Put joy, love, and happiness into no matter what it is that you're doing. Whether you're the one who's picking up garbage out on the side of the road, or you're the one, running a company. It is supposed to be the same sense of self, the happiness and joy. And if you're miserable doing everything that you're doing, then it's something that you have to explore within rather than without. And I hope that makes sense to you. Ah, right. Okay. So there you go, Lori. There's your key right there. I left an unhealthy relationship and making me question myself. So it got nothing about living on purpose. It's got to do with the trauma responses, or the sense of lack of self that you took from that relationship, that you are now allowing to lead and guide your life right now where you are. See the difference in that conversation? See that difference? You're not trying to find your purpose. You're trying to heal beyond living in an unhealthy relationship that really truly allowed you to shadow over your light and not be able to see your worth. Big difference. So that's a healing beyond the past and the things that you've experienced, and being able to bring it back home to you. Yeah. And same thing, Colleen. Same thing. What you're seeking and searching is so every time you're waiting for that purpose, you're waiting for the material world to provide something that cannot be done by the material world. You can buy nice stuff, you can become a shopaholic, you can become anything you want, but you'll never be happy. There will always be something that is missing, and you'll always be seeking for that person to fulfill your life. And when they do one thing wrong, or they can't make you happy, then they're going to be the wrong person for you. But what if you're being the wrong person for you in the life that you're living, instead of allowing yourself become all right for you? Become all right. Become all right with the past, become all right with who you are. You can go back and look at the past and explore it and make a correction and correct the path to make sure you don't do it again. But you have to become all right here. When you become all right here, life changes. Aaron, I'm currently in my worst financial situation ever. Divorce, career change. I have nothing. I have nothing. It feels, but I made these changes to try to make my life better. But this feels like I've made horrible mistakes to get myself into a position. It's difficult not to compare yourself to others and their success. The shame is real. So you're in the worst financial situation where a good portion of the world is right now. Sadly, that's something that's there. So I have nothing is what it feels like. So is it more that you broke yourself away from things that were not bringing you into happiness and joy, and you're in the process of realigning your life? So you're in the process of realigning your life. But what is it? So as long as you're looking into the eyes and the lives of other people, you're always going to be miserable. As long as you're looking and comparing and living in a life of comparison, you will be miserable. And that's a truth. And the moment that you have to bring it home to you and to your whys and what you're seeking and searching, and you have to know that financials come back again. Trust me, I've been down and I'm not in the best financial situations right now. I'm not going to be, because this is what the world looks like. But I'm better than I was 6 months ago, in myself. Like, there's so many things to look at. But as long as you're looking into the mirror and the eyes and comparing yourself to other people, and I get it all the time because people compare themselves to me. But the people comparing themselves to me has never once in their lifetime even stepped inside of my house. They've never stepped inside the presence of being with me as a human. They've never been inside of my world. So it's like, it's easy to look at the mirror and think what you're doing when you're comparing yourself to people. You are building up an imaginary story of the life that you think people are living based on what you can visually see. They could be flat ass broke and have everything around them that makes them look like they're rich and they have not a dollar to their name. So they're just as broke as you, but they have a really good facade at hiding it. Right. And so when we do that and we live that way, we're always truly in that place of you'll never be enough. You'll never be happy. You'll never be find anything. And okay, friends, we'll see you later. Thanks for coming. um, Good morning, everyone else who's joining in. Good morning. Good morning. And you're welcome, Lori. Right. And so, when you're there, Erin, it's like you got to just start looking in your own mirror. You cannot look in those because you're creating a story around what you think everyone else has. You don't know what's happening. And the same thing when I say people look at my life, they compare and they say, oh, she has this, she does that. Nobody knows. And one of my friends laughs a gutful because she says, you're the one person who has shit all. Like you really have very little things. And I'm like, yeah, I really have very little things. And it's what's important to me is within the people that are in my lives. It's the people that I work with. It is the work that I do. It is my happiness and joy is not defined by a $90,000 vehicle sitting at my driveway because I had the 90,000, it wasn't 90. I had the $70,000 vehicle sitting in my driveway. I had all of that. It didn't make me any happier. It didn't bring me happy. And I didn't get it for happiness. I got it because I could afford a big payment. So I got a vehicle that was practical for all the road trips that I would do. Now I drive a truck that is much cheaper, and I'm dreading the day that I'm ever going to have to trade it in because I'm in love with my little truck. Me and my little truck are like the best little buddies. And it's like, I love that little truck, and it makes me, and when I go place and I'm like, I got this little tiny truck and it's so cute. And people comment on the color, and it's a 100th anniversary of the Chevy Silverado. And it's like people wait in the parking lot to see me to ask what kind of truck I'm driving and what the color is of it because it just stands out so much. Right. And so it's how you perceive the life you're living. So are you in the worst situation or are you in the prime situation to be able to start to create the life that you want to live, to start to explore ways to find a new way to do things, to start to look a little bit deeper on what you want to bring into your life? Well, your life pretty much has not anything in it that's not fulfilling you with material matter. And now you can create it and rebuild it from where you are today. Starts with you. You have to look at the things that are keeping you from the life that you want to live. And that's the truth. When I felt this way, I've always looked around, right? To see my surroundings and realize how grateful I am to breathe, to wake up, right? To have a roof. That's right. You got to look at the things that you have because you could not have a roof over your head. You could be living on the streets. There's always somebody who's got it worse than us, right? Yeah. Right? It's so easy to associate your worth with how you've maxed out your credit card. Yes, Aaron, exactly. And that's not always the truth, right? It's like, yeah. So that's how you maxed out your credit card is trying to increase your worth. Now to find your worth, you're going to let that, put that aside and put, how can I start to feel worthy inside of me and start to create new life? And then I can pay off my credit card. Hold on. I got to check. Seems like someone just came in. I know, Jessica. Sorry, weirdest thing, but my ghosts were just walking around my house, apparently. My door just opened and somebody just came in and closed the door. And I heard it so loud. My dogs even went downstairs to check it out. I could even hear the breathing in my house, and there's nobody in my house. Yeah. Tell you how much we have around us today. Yes. So there's your reality check of the day. So card number 2. Card number 2 of today. Let's see what we got for card number 2. Look at that. Master manipulator. How perfect is this? Master manipulator. And with this master manipulator, what we get with the master manipulator is we truly get how are we kind of living in our smoke and mirrors, the stories we tell ourselves and we convince ourselves are true, are right. Just like Erin said, like when she looks at other people's lives and we create the stories around the way that we think other people are living. So it's the same way we make enemies. Right? It's the same way we make enemies with people. We convince ourselves that these people are bad, and you're seeing it all over the world right now. It's like truly convincing yourself that, oh, those kind of people and this kind of people. What kind of people are they? Can you tell me what kind of people they are? And we do that often. And I'm a healer. So as a spiritual healer and walking the middle road, it's like, I work with people who are this and that. I don't get to decide who's going to be worthy enough to be human, to be in my presence. It's like, whoa, what kind of person do I think I am that I get to decide who based on their political view or who they are, that I get to decide their worthiness, that I get to, put that sense of you're not good enough for me type of energy. And I'm like, that doesn't work in my world at all. I've had that done to me enough in this lifetime to know how hurtful and painful that is, that I will not project it onto the other. So this master manipulator kind of energy and being there. Remember being in school and all the cliquish and clannish kind of people, groups that would cluster together, and you'd have to, if you wanted to be with them, you would have to drop your friends you've had for life, and you'd have to get rid of them because they're going to cramp our style. They're not going to be the right kind of people. Well, we're seeing that energy in adult energy right now. So we have a lot of, I say, adult human meat suits walking around that has spiritual and emotional maturity because we have been triggered by the fear story so powerful and so big. And so emotional immature parenting is real. And it's a real thing in our work that we do as spiritual healers. A lot of people are raised by emotionally and spiritually immature parents. And based on the fact that we never used to deal, and we still obviously not dealing with it in the best of ways, PTSD, past life trauma, like all the things that have happened in the past. You take a 16, 17-year-old that went to war and then came home, got married and had kids, and then probably never had the best childhood life before that, but then were expected to be the best parent. Really? They were not spiritually and emotionally mature. But right now we have a whole lot of the world walking around all against anti-bullying. Put on the anti-bullying shirt and wear the anti-bullying shirt. But in the meantime, you just attack 10 people on Facebook, on YouTube, with your opinions, your thoughts. And then you ruined your whole day, you ruined your whole life. And then you're mad and you're throwing around the dishes in the sink and telling your whole family about how bad the world is and what assholes are in the world and da 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 da. That's emotional and spiritual immaturity. Right. And so we have a lot of meat suits and we're wearing a lot of meat suits. And so we find ourselves in that energy. What is it that I am, where am I stuck in my head? What is my head story? What is it that's really what's really happening? Where's the real pain in my life? Where's the real truth in my life? Like, where do I really need to put my focus? And so so the master manipulator is that people play on bleeding hearts. Right? People play on bleeding hearts. They play on sensitivity. They play on the fear. They use it to master manipulate. And so you often see it like kids, when they have, so I'm going back to the children's story again. So you learn this in childhood and then you act it still out in adulthood. And so kids, when they're not getting their way, when there's say two kids and one plays that whole victim, poor me, you forgot about me, you left me behind and you didn't do right. And so you'll even hear that voice come out of adults. Everybody you offended me, you hurt my feelings. It's like, really? Right? And so as a kid, a lot of parents like, just get over it. You'll be fine. But some kids will carry that all the way through life and say, they told me to get over as a kid and now I have to deal with that as an adult. Well, now you're an adult and you're not 3. And now you have to act, respond, and behave like a grown adult. But first you got to discover what it means to become a grown adult, like in a grown adult energy. not just in the body, but to embody being the grown adult means to truly know that you can breathe through your experiences, and you have all these tools that you discover and that you find that give you the capability to be able to, you know what, turn and walk away. It's called legs, it's called feet, it's called eyes. You can click past, you can turn away. But we just want to, we just have that sense of trying to repair everything all at once. And it's really truly triggering a lot of other things. So a lot of my work is spiritual and emotional consulting. So I help people spiritually, emotionally evolve beyond the past experiences, because it is crucial to who you are today to stop being that master manipulator of even your own story. So like Erin said, when she's looking, like, I see the way other people got, well, that's a master manipulator energy. That's you manipulating yourself to be able to stay victim to your story. And when you have no story, when you cannot manipulate your own self, when you can no longer stay in your head stories, you've truly then become honest with yourself and say, what do I need to do? How am I going to do this? How am I going to be that change? You bring it home. It is ownership and responsibility. And the ownership and responsibility is on us. We wouldn't have so much of the chatter out there if we all stopped paying attention to it. If we wouldn't give those places any attention, and I mean either side, I don't care what side, if we didn't give it so much attention, it wouldn't have such the power that it has over us. And it has the power it has over it because we give it attention. Wouldn't you rather to spend time out in your streets having a street party with your friends than spending 8 hours sitting down listening to every single news article out there, and for them to tell you how awful the world, how awful your life is, and how awful your life is going to be? If everybody stopped paying attention to it, if everyone start bringing it back to here, they lose some of that attention, right? Yeah. Thank you, Joanne. Lori, dear Lord, I'm trying not to focus on my debt. It's crazy. So you focusing on your debt. So being in the grown up energy, in the adult energy, we have to bring our awareness to our debt. How? But we need to find solutions. By staying in the problem, you'll never get to a solution. Did you know that? It's the same thing in hanging out with a crowd of gossipers and stuff. As long as you're right there in that energy, you're part of that story. The minute someone says, "Hey, wait, we got to make that change. You got to change that," and you step up and out, you're stepping into a solution. Find a solution. So it's time to start seeking and searching out solutions. How can I find solutions? Where do I start? And you start making a plan. Where do I want to see myself? Start there. Where would I like to be? And make it realistic. Make a realistic goal, set a realistic goal, and be real and honest with yourself on what you can achieve, what you can afford to pay, what you can do. Reach out, call a financial advisor, call somebody. There's so many places that we can reach out to get that assistance and help that we need. It really is. And so, right, because you stressing and doing nothing is never going to bring about a change. Mary, you were told, suck it up, buttercup. I was told that many times too. And so now there's a difference in not helping children deal with emotions. If we actually help children deal with emotions and let them talk, it is crucial. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. And I always say this about teenagers. I say, let them spew it out, because sometimes it is like being able to have a safe place where you can just vent. Everybody should be able to just vent, and not vent it out into the public or throw it on other people. This is how I'm feeling today. It may not be real, it may not be right, but this is what I'm feeling. And I just need to be able to get it out. And if you let kids and teenagers just spew it out, instead of every time they go to speak, you shut them down. Because every time you shut them down, they're then being devalued. And that starts so early. And so you probably experienced that, because that's what your parents had. And so we are to be the change by saying, you know what, you do, it does matter, but you're still young. And so there's a lot of life for you to learn. So give the kids the opportunity. So suck it up, buttercup, is, we all had that and we experienced that. But it's to recognize that you're not always going to get your wants, and you're not always going to get those needs met. You have to be able to self-soothe, self-nurture. And those things are very, very important. Self-love, self-nurturing, self-care. That's not somebody else's job. That's your job. You have to learn to be the mother to you that you probably didn't have as a mother. And you have to Do that, and then you can also change how you mother. But you cannot fix your stories through your children. You can only fix your stories through yourself as well, right? And so that sense of self and recognizing, okay, suck it up, buttercup. Really, truly, when you think of it in the way of how I write it in one of my books, is that think of it in the way of, now if God was speaking to you, and God has no emotional attachment to us getting what we want, right? It's like, it is what it is. And it's like, you know what? You have to make a change today. And so suck it up, buttercup, is you have to make a change. You have to do this. You have to do something different than you're doing it. You have to change those thoughts. You have to look another direction. And that's how you speak about it. And I do teach and coach that way. Right. And so, Karen, when I put my 10-year old son to bed, that's when he talks and opens up, right? We call it pillow talk. It's safe time. Yes, exactly. Just let them get it out before they go to bed so they can release it and it's done. So, so important. Destiny, it's funny that you're talking about money topics this morning. I just got off a phone call with my mortgage company. They want to add my name to my dad's mortgage. He passed away in 2017, and I've taken care of his house. So that doesn't mean I will have ownership of his house, right? Yeah, Destiny. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. I would speak to somebody about that. I would, yeah, because it couldn't, if you're paying for that house and it's your house and they want to add you onto it and it becomes yours, then you would have to get the title, I'm assuming. And it depends on where you are, what province, what country you're in. Rules and laws are all different. I would speak to somebody about that, because that may mean that that's your house, right? Yikes, that's exactly what I've done my life. Be the mother to everyone else I didn't have, but not to myself. Yes. There you go, Valerie, right? And that's exactly what we do, right? So you be the mother to everybody else that you didn't have, and then you try, but then you do not mother yourself because you didn't have the skills of care, of that nurturing, that care that was needed. So you have to do it. Oh, you're not far from me. Yeah. So I know that you could, like, there's a couple um uh financial companies type of thing that I would probably call. I would look it up and find a number and speak to somebody about that before I'd sign anything. Yes, big steps forward today. And I think it might be a great opportunity for you as well. So, yeah. But yes, Valerie, right? It's like so everything that you had a lack of from your mother as a child, you continued to give yourself a lack of, but you tried to give it to everyone else so no one else would have to feel the kind of pain that you felt as a child. But in the meantime, you're allowed to go around feeling that for the rest of your life. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? Right? I'm speaking your truth too, Annette. Yeah, I know, right? It's so crazy. And so our third card, and I'm not even bringing them up on the screen today. Look at that. And so our third card that we have for today, see, you just can't make this shit up. I love this card. She does this to us all the time. The everyday miracle. She is. This card is just like, I swear this card is here to just make us smile at the end of our gatherings. It truly, truly is. The everyday miracle. She is. In order for miracles to happen, you have to take action steps towards the direction where you would like to, how you would like to feel in your future self. Not exactly what it looks like, how you would like to feel. And it takes you taking action steps to move towards that direction. This is mother, grandmother energy. This is the divine mother. And the divine mother is alive within each and every one of us. We may not have a mother sometimes, like you may not have had the ideal mother, but your mother probably didn't have the ideal mother as well. You just never know what they experienced and how emotionally and spiritually immature they were. And so when you start to be able to finally kind of catch on to that, I always think back and look at my mother when she was 20 years old and she had two small children. And she had already helped raise her siblings. And then here she was with two small kids. And I'm like, patience. I don't know. I probably would have ran away. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done, but I know what I was doing myself at 20 years old, and it wasn't raising children. I was hanging out in the bars, and I had a career, and I was a hairdresser, and I had piles of friends, and I drank, and I had fun, and I'd go on road trips. I was being 20-year-old selfish. Whereas at 20 years old, my mother was trying to do the best she could to be the mother that these kids needed that she now had. Right. And so there was no drinking and partying and those things for her at that time. She was being a mother. And so because she did what she needed to do to raise us. And so the everyday miracle. So all the things that I emotionally, would tell my stories for all those years about, I was the number two child. It was She was thankful to have one child that didn't need quite as much attention as the other child, and that I was a very independent child. It taught me some great skills. And so when you can do your healing work and get out of your head stories and stop needing someone else to blame, you start to come back to the truth that the future that I want to live in and who I want to be, how I want to be seen, or how I want to be today is all based on the truth of finding me and finding that love and light that's within me. And I want to be a beacon of love and light in the world, which means that I have to do the love and light within and be that within. So today, what are you going to do for you? How are you going to show up for you? And how are you going to be present in that energy? And so this beautiful card is here to always make us smile. There was enough tears shed and cried, and we've done those tears, and we got tears to come. There's no doubt. There's always going to be tears to be had. And there is somebody out there today that's going to need your support. I have many friends, and I have many dear people in my life, and I have many clients, and I hold space many hours during my day. But I know, and if I needed someone to hold that space for me, that I have a team that will rally around me day and night, because that's what we do for each other. That's what we're here to do. And so today may be the day that you don't have those tears. Today may be the day that you have enough strength and power to get up and to do one thing for you. And it takes taking one step. It could be a baby step. It could be a big step. It could be something that may change your life. And so there we go. There comes our little spammer. Don't anybody answer it. Got it. So have you seen that message? I just deleted it. It's the spammer that comes in constantly. They go after people who have public figure pages. Yeah. So that's the Mother Mary energy behind her. She's my, she channels through me, the Divine Mother, her mother, Saint Anne. Yeah, got this. I got the spam. I got the spammer. Yep. And so see, we solved the problem. We blocked and deleted, like we always have to do. And so I'm just going to give a validation to everything here. Hold on. The cards fell over. One last, it feels like it needs a fourth card because that was 44. It was the number of the angels. And I just feel like it needs a fourth card today. I don't know why, but I do. Beautiful transformation, 26, Amara. And it's like you've been through the storms, you've been through these things in your life, and here you are now. You're holding your life in your hands. You're holding your opportunities in your hands. You're holding the opportunity to see your blessings today. What is your blessings? What are the things that you have in your life that are truly here to inspire you to see the beauty within you, and to look into somebody else's eyes and create a story of what you think they are, what you think they have, to look into your own and look at the blessings that you did have and the opportunities you have and the places where you have been saved. Like, it's so many things of when doors have closed or people have walked away, and you hear other things later and you go, thank God for saving me from that. I would have been stuck in that, and I wouldn't be here to be who I am today if I had not have experienced those. So everything of who we are today truly provides for us an opportunity to be a little bit better than we were yesterday, and provides us many, many things that we can use to bring forth a future that we want to see for ourselves. So great. And so you never walk alone. We're never walking alone. We have much love surrounding us, and we have much here. And the problem is you forget to ask out there. We have many beautiful spirits. We have many beautiful guides. We have guardians. We have guardian angels, and those guardians will only ask when you ask. They'll only come in when you ask. They will not invade your space. They're not coming in to give you all kinds of opinions. They come in to help. And patience and timing and divine timing is not like human timing. what they tell you, you start putting your shit together, you start doing your part, and we'll start doing our part. And when you start doing your part, they start doing their part, and it's amazing to watch the magic and miracles that unfold when you start taking action steps towards you. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. I have to go record some YouTube videos and do a bunch of other work today. So much, much love. Have a beautiful day. Mwah. I see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. And I should be back around 10 a.m., 10:30 tomorrow morning. Got to go to my pain clinic first. So 10:30 Mountain Standard Time tomorrow morning. Much love. Bye-bye.